Hello, hello, hello. Hello. What is up? I'll wait for everybody to just kind of pile in. And we'll get started momentarily. Meantime, I'm gonna get the first submission. We don't have many submissions this week, so yar. Excuse me. Fuck. I mean, crap. Am I even streaming right now? Hold up. Okay, I am. I've been making more melodic stuff lately, and it feels kind of good. I had a moment where I thought I was gonna just suck at music theory for a long time, and then like writing actual leads and chords and hooks and yada, all that is kind of gonna pass. Oh, dude, you know what would be good actually for this stream? Since I don't have many submissions, I could go through the dub duels thing. That's a really popular thing. I could give my takes on it. But it happened like 5 hours ago. Have they streamed yet? So I'm coughing so much. Oh, dude, they're gonna be streaming like later. Oh, dude. Yeah. I don't know why, but when I like have something to eat, I cough a lot for like the next 10 minutes. I just ate earlier. But fuck, that'd be cool. We should totally do this. We should just review all the dub duel stuff, at least for today, because I wanna see like what people submitted. This one is already called for Vex You? Question mark? Did the person just forfeit or something? Probably. It's like half the length. But anyways, let's get started. I'll put in here Avada. Avada, are you with us? Do something. Say something. Where are you? Are you here? How old are you? How'd you die? Faz isn't Faz. My bad. Anyways. I'm gonna switch it up with my style of feedback. I listen all the way through usually, and then I give my thoughts. I think that kind of takes away from my initial reaction to it. So I'm gonna just comment on big things that I hear, and I'll pause it, and then I'll rewind if need be. But it's supposed to be like for like that initial reaction, I feel is really important to get my thoughts out when something really big happens. But I'll still go through in detail for the whole song. All right, Avada. Let's see what you got, little guy. Yo, that's fucking sick. Yo, hold on, let's run back. Okay, this little fake out thing needs to change. It's like really just you know, it's not big. It's not like a big room, big bomb bomb bomb. It's not Anthem like. It's just mid. Oh fuck, dude. Oh, I mean, I can't swear. My God, my bad. Dude, this bass is sick though. What did you do? Yo, this is like the best bass you've probably ever made. Like, hands down. This is the best. Really good bass. Props to you, man. Wow. Oh, bro, and the kick hits and the snare hits, you don't have too much high end like taking over the sound. Your basses, you can like make them do really cool stuff. A lot of people who make basses like they can't like transform it to be faster that much. It's usually they're kind of stuck with what they have. But you did great. What the hell? This is crazy. Oh. Oh fuck. Oh. Okay. When you do like little cuts like that, you need to make it less like crazy of a switch. It's like kind of jarring. I mean, that effect is good, good effect, but the way you implemented it is a little forced. Like, especially the loudness is not that loud. It just kind of gets really quiet and the bands kind of get narrow. If you're going to do that and it's going to be in the same drop, you got to make it louder and more present. You can also make the low cut and the high cut like not so harsh or like narrow. I'd recommend if you're gonna go for that kind of style, like radio, it's in the radio kind of thing. At least like have like a hard like high pass filter, like a 96 decibels per octave kind of slope, and then like add a little bit of lows, like 100 hertz minimum. You know, it still gives that feeling like there's a rumbliness to it, and it kind of lets the energy flow. But the big thing is to make sure it has the same loudness, or around that. You can add a compressor and make it loud. In radios, like real radios, the signal does actually get distorted, so you could get away with getting a distorted sound from there. But I digress. Dog. Bro, that is the best thing you have submitted by far. If you keep making music like this, you're gonna go a long way, man. I have some things to put on top of that. If you make music like this, like continually, you're gonna get better at sound design mixing. Your songwriting was great. Just no issues at all. It flowed really well. It seems like you were kind of inspired by Ray Volpe's "Make It Drop" song. I kind of saw like some influence there. I'm not sure if you did reference that a lot or not. Regardless, you're getting there, man. I can really hear it. Your sound design, like I said, it's like the most clean sound design I've heard in quite some time. Now, some things to watch out for is like digging a hole for yourself. You don't want to do that. You don't want to depend too much on this kind of sound design. People change music genres all the time. And Tear Out is one of those genres where it's mainly focused on like a gun bass, right? And with how good this bass is, I think you could do a lot with it, but don't dig yourself that hole and make your songs only about gun basses. You're good at sound design, you can make some other cool sounds. Don't feel like you have to make a gun bass every single song. Just watch out for that and don't like try to conform to like what everybody else is doing. You can make it big, having a new sound that you make, you know. Innovate in some shape or form. I think this has a wider appeal. I feel like bass DJs, if you send them this mix, they probably would play it out because it's just good quality. And that's what I recommend for people who are kind of smaller producers. Getting your stuff played out in shows is actually a big flex. Not only does it allow you to post like social media about people playing out your music, it also gets more eyes onto your music and builds relationships with people. So if you get your songs played out by I don't know, like a Lennium or something, I'm not saying that he would play out Tear Out, but he has in the past. Those people who see Elenium are going to see that they played out your song. You can say, hey guys, Elenium played out my song. And you can further develop a relationship with Elenium. If he did play out your song, you can say, hey, I have these new tracks that you might like. You can connect with his staff in some way. He might actually know some people who are in the bass scene that could connect you and get you some shows, you know? Like there's a lot of avenues you can get from just sending people your track playlist, a song of yours. And I think that's kind of the stage you're at with this song, Avada. I think you need to build your discography more before you can really leverage anything. I can just see like your tracks. You have like 2 songs here, and one of them is like 5 years ago. Just build your discography up. I'd probably like ballpark it like 5 songs. Yeah, just release like 5 songs, and there you can have leverage to be like, hey, I have these good songs here. Let me play a show. I mean, you're not going to play a show only having 2 songs. Like, no one's going to book you for that because you just don't have the content yet. You need to just pump out the songs. But, dude, really good job. I'm going to go back in my notes and kind of talk about them a little bit. Your intro was great. It was very solid. I like this vocal. Very cool. Very high pitch, very noticeable, recognizable. I could hear this and then remember what song this is. Good intro, good established melody. I think your transition to the build-up was also just great. You should be referencing this build-up as like what a build-up should sound like, and like transitioning into one. Although this is like considered a safer build-up because you're not like trying anything that different. It just works. Like it doesn't need to be something insane. But if I said before that if you want to get noticed by a bunch of new people, being different is usually the best way to get that attention, but it depends on what your goal is again. I think this is fine. Your sound design, yeah, I said it in the notes, is insane. Your fake out is mid. I commented on a little bit. I kind of understand you're pulling from that synth earlier in the intro. That synth does not do you justice for this sound. Like, you should just experiment. I don't have a solid fix for this problem. It's just that the synth here does not give that much energy, and it's such a different sound from what your main drop sound is, which is really like metallic, gritty, low and heavy, and your intro is like really melodic. Just do some experimentation, find what works in the fake out. You can keep like a melody of some sort in there. I think that's a good idea, but it has to be something that's repeatable and expected. If you're going to have, say, this synth play in the drop, you should have another part where that synth plays in the drop. Having it only repeat once does not make any sense, especially if it's at the very start. It just feels very off-putting. And it could be something as simple as like that synth being layered with the gun bass, but the gun bass is like filtered out or something, or there's endless possibilities. Just experiment with that fake out more, and you'll probably get something that sounds good. Coming on the down filter. I think this section needs a down filter, like some kind of sweeping tone that goes like something like that. Like, I think that would just complement the energy that's being dispersed. It also cuts off a little too harsh as soon as it hits that kick drum and then the vocal comes in. There's just like no instruments playing at all. It should carry a little bit of weight there, but it's not like that big of an issue. Yeah, this section right here just needs to be louder. That's like the biggest thing about this section. And that's about it for this track, man. I mean, you did really good on this. This is great. Send me some more stuff like this, and I'm gonna keep my eye on you, bro. Why wouldn't I? Okay. Next submission. We have 2 Mecha Wolf submissions. I wonder if they are the same song. They are. Hold on. So it's the Steez song. He sent me 2 of those, but one's like a newer version, question mark. Hold on, let me just check real quick. Okay, he sent me these 2. Oh, that one's been removed. Okay, so it's just this one. I really enjoy Mecha Wolf's writing. I think Mecha Wolf's writing is what's carrying him a lot, and he just like knows how to like get an idea down really well. Oh yeah, Avada, you're here. This is the newest one, the IS-38. Watch the volume. I don't know what that means, but okay. I mean, it sounds really good. If that's your newest one, dude, then you are on par. You are hitting those sick beats, brah. Just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, we're gonna move on to Mecha Wolf now. He submitted this thing. Oh wait, are you just saying what he submitted? No, +38. Oh wait. Oh, you're talking about this one. Okay. Watch the volume. Ooh. Oh boy. Damn. bro, you don't even understand how that snare is hitting all the right spots. All the right spots, man. That's your snare is suddenly really good. I love it. Damn, bro. What the hell? What was that, bro? Yeah. I like this a lot. This is really good. The snare is really good. You nailed the snare. The kick, not so much. The kick is really clicky. I can't hear its low end at all. It just doesn't fit the genre anyways. It seems like a simple fix to me, but I feel like there's something still going on with your mix. This is like every submission you submit, there's like something weird going on that's not immediately obvious how to fix. And you've explained before that it's like you use some kind of multi-band plugin on your master usually. I would just love to have you submit without that multi-band preset. Just submit like a raw mix or even just like with only a limiter, and let me hear what it sounds like there. Because your low end is always just really thin. It's not as loud as it could be. You think it's a soothe? It probably is, man. Just take the soothe off for just like one submission. If you even can, this stream, just re-render it without soothe, and then let me like do an A and B. Like upload just a new version, let me hear what it sounds like without. Just only have a limiter for one of them. It's like the low end is just being like cut so much, and it's so weird. The low end is just like so quiet. Yeah, and I mean the soothe is gonna just make the high end sound weird anyways. But just resubmit without it, and let me do an A and B comparison. But still, going down my notes. Your background layers are too loud. They are taking a lot of energy out of your bass. Your bass is like kind of fighting for attention with the background layers you have. And sure, right? Like your background layers give a lot of energy. It makes it really loud and like big sounding, right? But you're doing too much, and it's taking away attention from the bass. When you're playing a song out in a show, people are not going to get more hyped because there's more background layers. It's because they can hear the bass really clearly, and the bass feels like it's just really heavy, right? Like in rhythm, typically that's like the one everybody points to as being like really good for like live music or even big room house, right? That was a big genre back then. Those were very minimal like complexity sounds, or not really sounds, but mixes, right? Like he had a big giant lead, and it did like a lot of the work for melodies. And then for low end, all you had was like that kick drum, and that kick drum is what everyone like fought over, like at the streets rioting, tearing each other apart for. They wanted that raw dog big room kick, right? And with same kind of thing with rhythm, where people freak out over the rhythm bass being that loud and that dry. It's like it just makes it feel really, I don't know, really intense. And having a bunch of background layers is kind of like an old idea. Like you don't really need that many background layers anymore. It definitely helps if you want energy, but you can overdo it so easily. Oh yeah, this is absolutely true. I think I went too far with the loudest and the BG layers. Yeah, just you could just get rid of some, if you think so. You typically want your bass to do a lot of the talking. It's like a newer style of mixing. In about, what's it, like 2014 or something, 2015. Gosh, that's like a fucking, or shoot, I didn't mean to swear, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. I mean, like 2015, that was the big thing with like bro step, right? It had all these bro step people putting all these background layers, and that was like the old way of thinking. And you might have been around at that time, and people would give you advice. Like you see people on FL Studio back then, they're making little dubstep drop. Check out these drops. I put these cymatics loops in my song. I put this cymatic background layer. It's a little saw that goes up in the high frequency, and it just adds so much energy. Like those are people who they don't have a good understanding of why they even make those choices. They just hear something loud and they're like, yeah, dude. Just simplicity is better in my opinion. Less is more. That's what I've preached a lot when I did lessons for people in like 2020 during COVID or something. Less is more. Operate on that philosophy. It'll make you think more critically about why you're making choices and more efficient ways to get to a destination, like in sound design or mixing or something. That snare just hits. It's so nice. That snare, crispy snare. That's like if I were to describe that snare, it's like eating a kettle chip. Like it's just that crunch in there. It's so tight. The transient, chef's kiss. It's so bright. I love it. That snare. Keep it exactly the way it is. You taking off Soothe might even make it better somehow. I don't know, but it's so good. That snare, great. Change the kick though. The kick needs to be something needs to happen with that kick. We need to get the Mafia and take care of it. I don't even have much to say about this. It's just good. The Killer Arts Transient Shaper helping with that one. Dude, yeah, transient shapers are like my bread and butter. I wish I knew about them earlier, bro. With the kilohertz one especially though, you do kind of need to be wary of it because the attack on it is a little misleading. Like if you have your attack set really low, it means that it'll basically just boost the entire signal because it's just like it just takes so long for it to register where the transient is, but that's why I always like turn the attack all the way up, like the fastest it can possibly be. That's like the only thing that sounds good. I typically use the FL Studio transient compressor or transient processor because I think it's better, honestly, than the kilohertz one. Exactly. Going nuts with the glue compressor did not help. Yeah. I'm typically, for drums especially, I'm typically an advocate for leaving them the way they are. Don't mess them too much. They're made the way they are for a reason. They don't have it looking all weird. I explained this in like another feedback stream at some point. But when you add like a bunch of effects to your drums and snares, you are changing the waveform so incredibly much. And don't even get me started. If you use OTT, I pack up your stuff and leave, man. Don't put OTT on your drums, dude. Please do not do that. That irritates me so much when people do that. I see people do that and I tell them, take it off. And then suddenly, oh my gosh, my kick drum, my snare, it sounds so much better. Oh my gosh, my hi-hats don't sound like they're flooded. Oh my gosh, man. There's just like so many applications where if you even put an EQ on your snare, for example, it just destroys the signal like so much. I'll give you guys an example. I'll load up FL real quick, just so you guys can see like how easy it is to destroy a snare. And it goes for like any drums really, that people put as much attention to drums in making like sample packs and stuff as any other sound. Okay. Okay, there we go. And I gotta make it so I can zoom in because it doesn't do it by default. Yippee. Okay, so look at this, right? Look how beautiful the snare looks. Look at that. It's hitting the top range. It's limited really well. There's like no gaps. It's as loud as it could be. It's filling up the full frequency. It's doing a lot. Now watch what happens when I get an EQ and I do this little thing where I think I'm funny, and I see people do this all the time. They're like, I'm gonna boost the fundamental of my snare so it hits louder. You're like doing so much worse with this decision by itself. Please don't do this ever. This is like the worst thing you could possibly do is boosting the fundamental of your snare. You don't even know why you're doing it. You just see the big giant frequency and you want to turn it up. Anyways, if you render this out like so, and if I normalize this, wow, it looks like a bean. What did you do to it? So you basically just turn down your transient and your tail. It does not sound good, and especially if you put it in a limiter, watch what happens when it goes into a limiter now. So you have your limiter for your track. You turn it up. Wow, it's only distorting the peak that you boosted. So your drum is gonna just sound hard clipped now, and it's just gonna be the fundamental that makes it sound hard clipped. You are destroying your snare, as opposed to having it like this. And this is just louder anyways, because I normalized it. But if I did like a volume match, wow, it sounds fine. And this one, the fundamental is just clipping. I can make it even more obvious. Also, I forgot to turn off the EQ on this. Wow, dude. Sounds so much better when the mids are clipping. There you go, you can really hear it now. And that's kind of like the more extreme case. Wow, that sounds so much better. Thank goodness I boosted the mids, the fundamental of my snare. Thank goodness I did that. Now it's only my mids that are clipping. Yeah, doing any EQ work on drums is mostly a bad idea unless you know exactly what you're doing. For making transient shapers and stuff, those work really well because they're boosted transient, and even clipping the transient is like, there's almost no downside to clipping a transient. It just sounds better like 99% of the time. There's like no downside. Except if maybe it like makes it too bright. That's a possibility. But I mean, that's such an easy fix. You can just turn down the high end with an EQ afterwards, and that won't really change much. I was bad for doing this years ago. Yeah, like even the same thing happens with people messing with kick sounds. Like they would just boost the low end in a kick and then think it does something. Like you're not doing anything. You're just making it more muddy and making it worse, and they don't even realize it. And not only does it do that, it like literally makes the transient less impactful. And they're like, why does my kick not hit that hard? I don't know what's going on. And be granted, right, you can do a lot of effects with it. You can distort your kick. I even, for my samples, I even like kind of give you that room to distort it if you want. It's like a really raw sound. But having like a kick in a sample pack that's already distorted just upsets me. When you have like those trap sample packs out, and they like have kick drums that are already like really low pass and distorted and stuff, I just get upset. I'm like, I could have done this myself, man. I could have just taken any kick in the world and low pass it and then distort it. You didn't need to do it for me. It's such a lazy production thing. I hate when people like have samples like that in packs. It's so lazy. Anyways, back to submissions. How many do we have? Oh, Tremor. We'll move on to Tremor, and then we will look at the dub duel stuff, and then like kind of destroy it and see which one that I like at least. Okay. Rip. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's not like my go-to kind of genre that I like a lot. Rhythm is kind of like in that place where I'm like, it's okay. I can appreciate a lot of the sounds, but it's not something I particularly enjoy. I thought I turned it off. Extracted the bass to save CPU. I may have reduced the sidechain slightly. We'll check it tomorrow. Let's go through some of the notes. There was some other problems I didn't give notes on because I wasn't sure exactly what the issue was, but I'll listen to it again and kind of see what it was. Okay, right there. That fill just sounds really weird. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. That just came out of nowhere. The other thing that I think I hear too is the bass, like loudness, is changing a lot, and I can't tell why. It sounds like it's like the sidechain, and then it sounds like you have layers playing at the same time for most of the drop, and at some point the layers just stop playing. I can't really explain it that well. Like right here, they're layered, and then like at some points the layers just cut out or something. It just makes it sound like it's the volume's being turned up and down constantly. That's not a very pleasant sound. If you have layers, make sure that they are being compressed so that they're all, when a layer's taken away or something, it's the same loudness still, because I can kind of hear it. You definitely have layers going on. Like, just make sure that they're the same loudness when there's only one layer, right? Okay, the sidechain. The reason why I say the sidechain needs work is because the sidechain, when you have the kick play more than like once in a even half a bar, it like ducks the audio too much. So when you have a kick play, the reason why I use sidechain is so that the kick doesn't interfere with the bass in a negative way, i.e. phase cancellation or doubling the phase, making it trigger the compressor to compress when it doesn't need to. There's a lot of reasons for that, for having sidechain, and just the effect of sidechain gives a really cool pump sound, usually, which people enjoy a lot. But there are ways to make it sound good and preserve that kind of pump sound, to preserve the phase of the kick without making it like take away from the energy of the song. In this case, like the ducking is taking your sub and your main bass and just making it quiet in some parts for no reason. And I think that's kind of unintentional on your end. You don't really necessarily want it to take down the sub that much in volume. I'll go into FL Studio and I'll kind of show you like the big problems people have with side chaining their kicks. I probably showcased this before at some point, but I'll do it again. So kicks. This is especially prevalent when you have a kick that has no high end. So your kick is probably something like this. I'm sure you got like an actual sample that's low pass. This is essentially what you have. Right. Maybe even a different one. Maybe this one better. Yeah, this is like your kick. Right, low pass kick, very thumpy, sounds cool, right? When you have a bass layered with it, let's just go and get what's a newer bass I can use? Yeah, over here. So, older methods of sidechain. If you have like a limiter and it's using sidechain in that way, let's just kind of make a little scenario for us here. So it probably looks something like this. Like imagine you have a sidechain channel or something, and we'll go with I don't know, Pro C or something. And it's been a little while since I used Pro C for any kind of sidechains, so give me a little bit of a second to remember. I think it's this one. Yeah. And then sidechain options, external. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yep, okay, we got it. And then the ratio is like way higher typically. Threshold's all the way down or something. Okay, that's crazy. See, like it's such a crazy dip in the sound. This is why I like never use limiters for sidechain anymore. Because it's ducking at this loudness and it won't release until this signal is over. So the way you usually want to happen is you want to be like a click. Like this is where it triggers, and as soon as this sample is over, like it cuts, then it starts releasing and it goes back to original volume. And so that sound kind of like this. You kind of see it right here. And what's the way to fix it? You just add more release. So you can see, you can make it as tight as you want. And you can adjust it really easily. With this, having a kick here, you can see it's almost pretty much gated. Even if the release all the way down, that's as quick as a sidechain can go up. So people almost never sidechain like this anymore. Pretty unheard of to do that. So what they'll do instead is have some kind of sidechain trigger, and sometimes they'll have like a ghost kick playing, and it's solely for sidechain purposes. But sometimes people will do something like this, have external audio. This is what I use Shaperbox. Sorry, this is what I use Shaperbox for because it's so good. This is like the main sidechain I use now. But in share box, you can choose where it hits. So I can actually move this little knob over, the trigger shift. It'll add some latency to your project, but it's not a big deal. So you can see I can have it trigger earlier. And now it properly triggers when the sample triggers too. Isn't that cool? I can make it tighter, that way you can see this. And what's cool about this is not only can you sidechain with just the trigger and determine your own shape, but you can also see the waveform in real time. So you could just line up your phases however much you want. And this kind of gives me a clue that I should invert the phase of this. So we're going to hit reverse polarity. And that's literally just going to swap it. So the ones that are up top are going to be on bottom. So I'm going to leave that on. You can see that more closely aligns with the shape of the sound. So look at the sub of the kick and look at the sub of the bass, and you can see it's more aligned. And we can just, you're not going to pay attention to the earlier start because that's going to be sidechained like completely. Like this is going to be ducked out. So it won't even affect the kick at all. You can see it's pretty similarly aligned. You're going to mainly look at like the very end of the kick for it to line up, because that's where like you're transitioning from the side chaining being like having a decay fading in and the kick fading out. So you want to make sure that aligns as best you can. Some people are even more nerdy and they'll literally take the bass and like move it a little bit to the left. Sometimes I've done that. Teehee. I kind of did ruin it, but whatever, I'll move it by one sample. Okay, cool. So we did good on that. So what I typically like to do with sidechain is I like to have a low band and a mid band. And the low band is just for the sub. And I'll cut out probably 100 hertz. And this is going to just closely follow the low end of the bass. So I'm just going to make a curve. I'm going to look at my kick. I'm going to determine how long the sidechain should be. So I'm going to move this over here. And it cuts out pretty fast. I'm going to add another point at the start. So for the first like few hundred samples, like 50 milliseconds, 60 milliseconds, it's just completely gated. There's no volume coming out at all. And at the very end, it starts sweeping up. And then the end of the kick is about right here. So right here is where a sidechain will be done. And I'll fade it in a little bit more. I'm looking over here at the signal. I probably should reverse the polarity again and see what it looks like. Whoops, wrong thing. Looks pretty good. We could even probably move this back a little bit because it fades in a little bit earlier than I thought. Let's move this back. It seems like I made the right choice before, so reversing it again. And notice we didn't even change the sidechain for the high end. The high end is not being sidechained at all. But we can now shape this any way we want. We can have it be like a big ol' sidechain like this. But that's kind of counterintuitive. Instead, what I like to do for kicks is I like to make the high end sidechain really short. So it's going to be even shorter than the low end, but it's also going to be really sharp. I do something like this, really sharp sidechain. I can box select this and kind of move it around. I can even scale it and stuff if I want to. So it's going to be something like that. And then we should look at an oscilloscope just to reference like how good of a job we're doing at sidechain. So you should always be doing this when you are mixing. We're gonna just look at this. So we're gonna look at our kick. Our kick hits right here, and then it starts transiting to the bass. You can see that high end kind of leaking through, and that's fine. It looks pretty fine. I mean, this kind of gives a clue that our bass is a little too loud. Let's turn down a bit. Okay, that's too quiet. We see a little bit of phase issues happening around here. And we can just do some minor changes. We could change the polarity again, just mess with it. Does that fix it? No, it seems to make it worse. So just reverse it again. So the polarity is a really easy way to see if it fixes your problem with phases. But if it's still an issue, we can just go back to the side chain. Okay, well, the low end is still kind of a problem, so we're gonna make this a little bit longer because it's like kind of doing some phasey stuff. And does it make it any better? Probably, yeah, that looks better right there. But the first hit, it seems to just be a little too much, so we can just mess with it a little bit more. Probably make it fade in a little bit more. That looks better. We can make it more gradual. Probably that would be a better solution. More of a gradual shape. Yeah, that works. We're getting there. And that looks really good right here. That looks like exactly what we want to happen. This is like the model one. The biggest problem is the very start of the bass, but it's not like a crazy big problem if it's that bad. But this is like the ideal one. That's ideally what you want to have. You can see the sub is consistent volume. That means when it's when it's triggered by a limiter or something, it's not going to just duck a second time. So like if it's ducking here, let's play a little bit more. So say you have a limiter, right? And the threshold is like -3 decibels right here. So right where my cursor is, that's where the threshold is. So anything above this, it's gonna take down at whatever ratio of it's set at. And let's say that you don't have like a saturation setting on it. It's just taking from the attack and release. And let's say your release is something like 100 milliseconds, right? So it's going to see the peak of this kick right here, and it's going to duck it at a release of, say, 100. And that's going to see this peak right here, and then duck again at 100 milliseconds release. So you're going to have like these really awkward waves and balances if it's not being limited properly. And obviously this example is kind of poor because this is pretty good side chain, I would say. It's doing its job the best I can. And I could probably go even further and make it as smooth as possible. But just imagine this is way worse of an issue, like this peaking way worse and this over here is peaking way worse. You're basically triggering your compressor twice, and it's going to make your sound really inconsistent and like kind of wobbly, like you have like a ring mod or something on it. And then once you have it go into a limiter, then those peaks are just going to be saturated and it's going to sound distorted. Just like I showed you earlier with the snare, it's going to sound kind of like that. What is your take on AI music? I think AI music has a lot of potential to be used properly. I think it's a little worrying that people can just generate music. However, AI, the way that AI models are trained for music is that it takes from a database of collected music. So you're just taking the most generic songs that are out there and you're saying, hey, can you make another generic song? So for people who are innovating and who are making new music that it sounds different, it's not going to affect them. And especially not going to affect them if their music doesn't get taken to train the AI in the first place. So people like Jacob Collier or like Mefuse, or even like any big EDM people is not going to affect that much. If you ever noticed making AI music, like if you asked it to make AI music for dubstep or something, it would just be the most generic dubstep you ever heard of, and it would just kind of sound bad. Even if you have it generate metal music or rock music, it just sounds like every genre song you've heard from there. So I don't think it's like an immediate danger for people who are innovating, and I think it probably ironically would kind of take away and like force people to be more creative with their music and more inspired. What I like from AI music is the ability to have instruments. For the longest time, I have not liked how contact libraries are like hundreds of dollars. But now, as a smaller producer, like I couldn't usually afford having to buy contact libraries. But as a smaller producer, if I wanted to have like a cello sound or something, I could have something make it for me. I don't necessarily have to play a cello or something, but I could just write it and have a cello sound there without having to pay contact like hundreds of dollars. So like it kind of allows the barriers of entry to be easier to break through and to make music that you want to make. I kind of wish there was like an AI sidechainer. That'd be kind of cool. If the AI could just detect how loud the bass could be and like how much you should duck it and stuff, that would make life so much easier. Something like that, just to make life a bit easier on sidechain. There's also like sidechain programs that I saw anyways that are using plug data for sidechain, and it like literally looks at your phase of your kick and stuff and tries to align it best I can, which I might switch to that soon if it's as good as it is. I haven't installed it yet. But back to your song, Tremor. Went on that sidechain a bit much, what you say? But you kind of understand the thought process behind sidechaining, and that's kind of like a way you can fix it and make it not as like annoying to deal with. Yeah, I can kind of hear your bass like getting loud and quiet at some points, and it doesn't sound intentional. So I'm assuming like this is a problem in your song. I got a little bored in like this section. It kind of drags out a little too long. Even the intro here drags out a little bit too long. That's like not an immediate issue. This is just not my like the kind of music I enjoy that much. So if it were me, I would probably change a lot, but I understand that you want to make this genre, and I'm just trying to give you feedback on things that would make you better at this genre of music. I think your sound design is really good. It's definitely up there with the rhythm scene. Rhythm kids are pretty like sound design focused, aren't they? I assume that like they care a lot about sound design, so I mean, if I say it's good, then they probably think it's good too. It's just those minor mixing things. But yeah, let's see if we have any other submissions before we look at the dub duels thing. Nope, we don't have anything else. Okay. Have you guys heard of dub duels at all? Are they streaming yet? No, they're not. Dang, when are they going to stream? They're going to stream today at some point. I remember you saying about reducing the bars and not drag the song out too much. Yeah, if you're going to drag a song out, you got to make it really, really interesting. Unless you make ambient or something, then that's your excuse, I guess. Making ambient music. Gosh, man, ambient music's just so just. I mean, yeah, it's just my preference. I don't like when people force intros and they make them like 10 minutes long or something. That's fine. Let's just look at the dub duel stuff now. Domori versus Nexus or Vexus. I can actually like have a say in it. I can vote I can vote. Democracy! Yay! Okay, let's hear this. I'll skip around. Oh man, we sure do love the low-pass intros, right guys? Oh fuck. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nexus are already off to a better start, honestly. Oh yeah. Honestly, bro, I think Vexus. This is a Vexus vote for me already. I mean, it's like not as interesting, but also it's not distorted to garbage. Like, that's too much distortion, man. I like the snare's kind of cool. But, everything else just too loud. Too loud, man. Louder does not equal better. And this is just clean and nice and just well produced all around. I'm gonna put my comment in here. Vexus. I'm gonna vote for Vexus. I like it too. Skay versus Surgeon. Aw, what a cute intro this is, guys. Oh. Oh? Okay. Very pitch map like. Wow, both of them have pretty vibey intros. Kinda surprised. Oh. Oh. Okay, I feel like I like the Surgeon one more, just off the rip. The sub on the Skay one's pretty dirty though. but it's like just the same sound. No variation, no call and response. Just really ringing out that pitch map bass. I'm just assuming it's pitch map. It's probably not, but it just sounds like it. Okay, I'm going for Surgeon. Surge Exxon. Gosh, man, we gotta do something about these dubstep names, man. They're getting out of hand. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the Surgeon one or the Skate one more? I was a little torn at first, and then I kind of started leaning to the Surgeon one. I think I have the right opinion about that one. I think Surgeon's probably better. Yeah. Oh, Kerosene dubs. Okay. I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. Kerosene is my friend, okay? And I think they're really good. So I'm already leaning towards Kerosene just based off of that. But I'm gonna have you guys say something first if you like Kerosene's more or if not. Bleep bloop.
Get ready to hear the best dubstep you've ever heard.
Okay, Spleen. Ah. Oh no, dude. Please don't. Dude, the reverb is distorting. How do you make the reverb distort? Dude, it's so loud. I'm just expecting it to be loud as fuck again. Oh gosh. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it, dude. I fucking knew it. Oh gosh. Dude. Okay. I don't know. Okay. It kind of just hurt my ears. And really, it's a bass pitching up. And it's also like so distorted. I just don't like things that are so absurdly distorted. And Kerosene's, I didn't like it that much. It's just kind of like rhythm, you know. I've always told him, hey, you should not make rhythm, and he still does it. But it's a lot cleaner, way better mixed than Spleens, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins this one? Who do you think wounds the dub duel here. Kerosene dubs.
Dubstep,
This is a fucking awesome vocal though.
the best dubstep you've ever heard.
How do you even make it sound like that? What did you? Why does it sound like that? The best dubstep you've ever heard. Give Spleen credit for having a cool intro. It's not like crazy or anything. It's just kind of interesting, you know? Yeah, I'm giving my vote to Kerosene. Kerosene. I just think it's not as like distorted and like, you know, it's just I'll move on. Damn. Whoa. Sacred. I'm sorry, this is just a hard Zuma vote for me. Way better mixed. Cooler sound design, just I like it way more, honestly. Oh, cool intro. Okay, man. Yeah. Dub Duels is like mainly like rhythm people, and I'm just not a rhythm fan. It's just boring to me. I'm sorry, guys. Just not that interesting. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's the same bass, same pattern, no interest. I vote for Lita for that. Maybe I'll have some kind of influence in what genre people make with my vote. Astaroth versus Trikas. Oof. Okay. Astaroth has been like blowing it out of the park recently. He's been just killing it with every song. I'm very I'm very curious of what he made this time.
I just turned vegan. I need the pagans breathing so they can see my new Top Boy season. I need the pagans alive so they can all see that it's still my time. I don't know why they act tough online. I see them outside and they ain't say nada. Soon as you say on site, we looking for you like some vintage Prada. Looking for you like some archive pieces. Jealousy in the ends. They hate when you become successful, but is it my girls?
I build your missus up, mate. So come on.
Damn. Damn.
That's what I've got to do, right? I've got to...
You've done the Space Laces crunch method. Dude, this is actually a pretty close one for me. I like both of them. Just Trikus has a more like rhythm-esque, well, rhythm, and Astaroth has a bit more going on, but even still, this is one of Astaroth's like weaker songs that I've heard. And by weaker, I guess that kind of just boils down to like it being rhythm, honestly, because I just don't like rhythm, but sound design is just so much better, and I think it's more interesting, so I'm voting for Astaroth on this one. Astaroth. I think Trikus honestly has a bit better of mix down though. Good duel though. I did a feedback stream earlier, and I stopped doing feedback. I just want to look at this dub duel thing real quick and like give my thoughts on it, and I was gonna end it. But the reason why people came here is kind of over now. Also, thank you for the compliment. Hope you're doing as well. Just doing some music stuff, and I do mainly content on Patreon now, so. Okay, it's rhythm, dude. Listening to like 4 seconds of that first drop, I just already knew the rest of the song, and I was right. Just more rhythm. I think Nova's is better mixed though, honestly. That's my main vote. It's just 2 songs I just don't like. But I'll vote for the one that I prefer still. Vex You and Smileys, and it's just Winner Vex You. I think they just defaulted to Vex You, so I'm not gonna bother voting. Yeah, Smiley just didn't submit his thing, but even if he did, I think I still vote for Vexu. Dude, Vexu's so just good, man. He's so good at making sounds. It's like it's thing, dude. I gotta say that the lead here, the melodic writing, didn't really make sense. Sorry guys, sorry. He needs to work on his writing a bit more for like music theory and stuff. But damn, this drop is so good. Yeah, I think it's the rest of the Dub Duels submissions. They'll stream some point, right? They'll stream at some point, right? I should write down which ones I voted for. Okay, I voted for Vexus. Let's see if my predictions are right, if they vote the same way I do. And then Sir Jixon. Sir Jixon. Kerosene. Zuma. Lita. Astaroth. Nova Dubs. And that was it, pretty much. Okay, let's compare if I was right. For right now, though, I think. Are there any more submissions? No, there were not. Okay, so that's it for feedback, and that's it for today's stream. So I will see you guys around. Victor Decoma, you came at the worst possible time. About to end my stream, dude. I was just going through the Dub Duel streams. You can see on the screen, like the ones I voted for, at least. I didn't include Vexu because he already won, but those are my predictions. They probably won't be the same what they will vote for, but that's what I want to win. Let's see. I think they'll stream later tonight. So yeah. Anyways, good stream, guys. Had fun explaining stuff. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night, and I'll probably see you in the Dub Duels chat, honestly, if you guys are watching that. So, yeah. Have a good one, guys. Good night.